Well, hello, my friends. This is Minister Hill. Today, I want to talk about the miracle wine. Did Jesus' wine, did it make alcoholics? People always blaming somebody for their habits. So a lot of people are saying Jesus turned water into wine, you know. So that's what we're going to talk about this evening. Jesus' wine don't make alcoholics. No. So oftentimes you would hear people that drink wine and other alcohol beverage say that Jesus turned water into wine to try to justify themselves for being addicted to wine, scotch, whiskey, bourbon, and beer. In the book of St. John, the second chapter and the first verse, there was a marriage in Canaan of Galilee. And Jesus and his disciples was called to the marriage. And when they wanted wine, the mother of Jesus said unto him, They have no wine. And Jesus responded to his mother, said, My hour is not come. Woman, what I have to do with you? Because Mary was to, the mother of Jesus was to meet her son on Calvary in his hour of being crucified. And during his crucifixion on the cross, he looked and said, Woman, behold thy son. That was his hour. But this was not his hour. So he's wondering what his mother is doing, telling him to get some more wine. So Jesus in the verse 3, St. John's 2 and 1, and then verse 3, and when they wanted wine, the mother of Jesus said unto him, They have no wine. And there are 6 water pots of stone. Jesus said unto them, Fill the water pots with water. That's a very key word, water. Plain water. And they filled them up to the brim. Verse 8, and he said unto them, Draw out now and bear unto the governor. When the ruler of the feast had tasted the water, there's the word again, water. When he tasted the water that was made wine, then the ruler said, Every man at the first brought forth good wine. And when men have well drunk, then that which is worse, well, the worst thing happened, they ran out of wine. Everybody was drunk and filled, and the worst thing happened, they ran out of wine. But now thou hast kept the good wine until now. Verse 11, this was the first or the beginning of miracles performed by Jesus, turning water into wine. Note that Jesus turned plain water into wine. He did not allow it to set or age or ferment, or no other additives was added. This Jesus wine was wine without alcohol. Are y'all listening? His wine was the total opposite from Boone's Farm, Wild Irish Rose, MD 2020, and expensive dinner wine. These are the wines that I just mentioned that Jesus saves you from. These are the wines that man made with ingredients that will cause you to become drunk. MD 2020 and Boone's Farm and Wild Irish Rose, all those mixed wines is the wines that Jesus saves from. In the book of Titus 2 and 6, it says, Young man likewise exhort to be sober-minded. Are y'all listening? 1 Peter 1 and 13, Wherefore gird up the loins of your mind and be sober. See, God is going to not create a wine to cause some men to be intoxicated at a wedding, and then over in the book of Titus and First Peter, he's going to tell you to be sober-minded. No, you have to rightly divide the word of truth. No, in those two verses that Jesus wants us, all of us, to be sober-minded. A judge cannot give out good judgment from drinking man's wine. The waiter will have an unjust balance on the scale from being impaired from man's wine. Notice the ruler said that the best wine, which was Jesus' wine, was saved for last. Are y'all listening? Most of them were well drunken, and they were all already filled with the chemicals of the mixed wine. They was already drunk. So they couldn't tell that the wine Jesus turned into water was alcohol free because it was filled with chemicals already. But it had the same wine taste, but was free from the drunken chemicals. Y'all stay with me now. You first have to divide the word of truth. The last thing Jesus would do is to cause you and your mate to become drunk at a wedding. It is especially then that Jesus wants the two of you to be sober-minded. Can I get a witness? Because they can blame Jesus for their divorce because they were sober before they became drunk off of Jesus' wine. No, my friend, Jesus turned water into a pure tasting grape juice. One can go to their local liquor store and purchase a bottle of good wine, alcohol free, the Jesus wine. Now, if you look in the book of Numbers 18 and 30, the 18th chapter and the 30th verse, it talks about the increase of the wine press. A wine press, one did not put wine in the press because wine was a liquid. But what they put in the wine press was grapes. And they put the grapes in a large container. And they all would take off their shoes and get into this large container barefooted, and they would trample on top of the grapes, causing the juice to run out, which was called wine, well before the juice fermented and before man added his intoxicating ingredients. Now, let me demonstrate for you. And before man added his intoxicated ingredients, these grapes came from the vineyard. You see these grapes? They came from the vineyard, just pure grapes. You can eat them like that. Pure grapes that would turn into wine once you trample on top in a wine press. Are y'all following me? So, once again, you can eat them like that, or you can squeeze out the juice and let it age or ferment. Then you would have a strong drink. Then if you would add enzymes and alcohol, then you will have strong mixed wine. So there are two types of wine. The Jesus wine, which is wine without the intoxicating ingredients, alcohol free. Then there is the mixed wine that have the same effects as corn whiskey, the wine that will cause